Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Locked On Flames. In case anyone was doubting the Calgary Flames, they proved they are in fact legit after beating the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-1 on Thursday evening. It's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for our winners and losers of the week today here on Locked On Flames.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day today. As always, I'm your host, Jess Belmosto of the Metropolitan Riveters Public Relations team, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for making Locked On Flames your first listen of the day. You can find us anywhere. You get your podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, Odyssey, Apple, you name it, for free. And of course, you can find us on YouTube as well for free 99. I think that the Flames proved that they are ready for a deep playoff run. I do. I think that last night's win was just a testament to how good this team really is. The Flames keeping up with a team as competitive, as fast, as talented as Tampa was just incredible to watch. And thinking back to this time last year when this team could not skate, they were so out of shape and they looked like a beer league. They couldn't keep up the Ottawa Senators. They were just not doing themselves any favors last year. But this year it truly does look like a different team, an entirely different team out there. And I think we have Daryl Sutter to thank for that because he came in and said, "You guys have the talent, but we got to get you into shape." So, and the numbers don't lie. Last night, the Flames outshot the Lightning 32-31, and both goalies put on an absolute clinic. And it was just one goal allowed by Markstrom. I think that he I don't even have words because you know how difficult it is going up against a goaltender like Andrei Vasilevski. You know how challenging that is. But for Markstrom to go out there and only allow one goal and that not being like the final score 1-0 is incredible. And just I was speechless and I'm still speechless almost 24 hours later because I have not seen quite anything like that from this team. Obviously, when you play teams like Colorado or, Vegas, you're getting that competitive edge. But when you go out and beat the two-time, back to back Stanley Cup reigning champions, it just does something to you. It gets that blood pumping, it gets the confidence flowing, and it was just so nice to see all of the gears clicking, churning, and just that well-oiled machine that we have seen all season still come to life in a Stanley Cup matchup. You know? There were a few scary situations last night on the ice that I think we should talk about. Obviously, the linesman Jesse Markey went down, and that was just an awful situation where the puck just hit him right in the temple, and he couldn't get up. He had to be helped off the ice by Backlund, and I think it was Goodbranson. They helped him, and he could barely walk down the tunnel. And I guess that he lost consciousness on the ice, which is obviously not good. And I'm hoping that he's resting today and he's able to just take care of himself. Obviously, don't rush back to the game because that's got to be a little traumatizing. And then of course Blake Coleman also got a puck off the head. That again, never fun, never something you want to see. He practiced today, so I would assume he's good to go for the game against the Red Wings. I just I hate situations like that. It's just so scary and you never know what can happen. But back to the positive side of things, Johnny Gaudreau went off last night, and I wanted to just like kiss Mama and Papa Gaudreau just like right on the foreheads and just say thank you so much for letting this kid chase his dream and play hockey. Like we are so lucky that we get to watch Johnny Gaudreau and have him on our team. And that is just something that we need to appreciate more. And a Johnny for heart. Like let's start this conversation, okay? Like let's keep it going. uh, what was mind blowing to me was the fact that Sean Monahan even looked good, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about him in the next segment. But the fact that like your fourth line center, who had a horrible game the night before and has pretty much had a bad season, got to the Tampa Bay Lightning and like got in their heads was fantastic. I loved every second of that. It was so funny watching Tampa to just try to like posture like Sean Monahan. He was like, "What do you like? I didn't do anything. I just like skated." And like, yeah, I like hit your captain, but it wasn't like malicious. It wasn't anything like intentional, like nasty or rude. So, uh watching Stamkos jump him and throw punches was just like I'm not laughing at the fact that like Sean Monahan got jumped, but just like the fact that Stamkos was so bothered and that the Flames, this team that everyone constantly writes off, is getting into their heads. Say less. I love to see it. I thought it was fantastic. Uh, and I think that that's something that they have on their side, you know? No one likes losing, but especially when you're losing to a team that has been historically bad, that is constantly written off time and time again. It's just it's not a good look. And I thought that the pace of the game and the energy and the competitiveness just looked so good. I thought that it was fantastic. I loved what Sean Monahan brought to the table last night, and I'm gonna say it. I thought that he looked good. I don't think that he looked like the player that Audie and I were ripping on Wednesday's show. Thought that he looked pretty good, and I thought that that line looked good. Ruzicka, a child, a baby, looked so good out there against a seasoned Stanley Cup championship winning team. So, I just you just love to see it, and I could not help but like beam with happiness today. Like I was glowing. I was so happy. My coworkers were like, "Why are you so happy? Like it's gross out. We're expecting a snowstorm." Because the Flames. The Flames. The Flames. That's why I'm so happy. And we're going to talk more about why that win is so important coming up next. And before we can do that, I am going to talk about our sponsor, Built Bar. Built Bars are a delicious tasting protein bar that don't taste like protein bars, and they have Built Puffs, which are the first ever protein infused marshmallow, which I think is so awesome. If you're like me, the idea of eating healthy is just kind of a lot of work because you just like your sweets and your unhealthy junk food. Well, with Built Bars and Built Puffs, you can eat healthy while like you're tricking your brain into thinking that it's getting like your sweets and your sugary, like like the bad things, and because they taste just like candy bars and they taste like those marshmallow treats. And you can head on over to built.com today and get 15% off of your next order at built.com with promo code locked15. And these snacks just they taste so good. They're high in fiber, high in protein, low in carbs, low in sugars, all the good, no bad, so good for you. That's promo code locked15 at built.com. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I'm Jess Belmosto, and you can follow me on Twitter at Jess Belmosto. People like to overreact, right? The Flames lose like 2 games and it's, "Oh my god, this team is a fraud." Jacob Markstrom, starts playing a little wonky. "Oh my god, he's injured. It's the end of the world." Austin Matthews scores a few goals. Oh my God, he's better than McDavid. He's better than Ovechkin. Shush. The Flames just beat the Stanley Cup champions 4-1 and did it in a way that wasn't an accident. And this team, my babies, the reason I chose to cover this team was because they're the underdog, right? You know, there's that they're fighting the stereotype of a Western Canadian team in a small market in a country that really only pays attention to three teams: the Raptors, the Blue Jays, and the Maple Leafs. So, no one's really talking about the Calgary Flames being really good this year. No one's really doing it outside of the market. So that's why I'm here. And I love being loud and someone's biggest supporter. So, I'm not saying I'm their biggest fan, obviously, because I think some of you have me beat there, but I will be their biggest cheerleader. And that's what this show's all about. But they are going against the grain. They're going against the odds here, right? They've had their ups and downs for so long, and God knows how many years that they have struggled with no true identity, right? So they are really they formed their identity this year. I think it was very clear before the All-Star break. They were a competitive team. They're still that underdog that has to fight to prove themselves and not be written off so easily. But the win last night just reinforced that they can do it. They can do anything they set their mind to because they're such a talented team and they have it A to Z. They have it with, that top line, your third pairing defensemen are still looking great. Your goaltender, that third line with Ruzicka, Mangiapane, and oh my goodness, I don't remember who's on. Is it Toffoli? Oh my God. Toffoli, he's on just fantastic. Toffoli has had 12 points since his acquisition. 12 points in 12 games is kind of a big deal. And I feel like if this kid was in Toronto, they'd be screaming about it. The Leafs are finally going to leave the first round. Well, are the Flames finally going to leave the first round now that they have a playoff scorer? Huh? Now that they have a goalie? I think we need to be talking about that, and I'm gonna start a dialogue. So is my cat, because he's running up and down the hall. But I don't understand why people cannot see this team as a legitimate contender. You got into the head of Steven Stamkos last night, okay? Again, your fourth line center who has no hip got into the head of a captain who has won 2 Stanley Cup championships, who should not be bothered by this little fleck speck on the map, right? A little bug on your windshield, Like, and I'm not saying that just because it's Sean Monahan. I'd say that about any player on the Flames, because Tampa is just, this great team that's won 2 back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. Well, Calgary's at the bottom of the barrel. Stop. No, Calgary's here, and they're going to put up a fight this spring. And when you go out and beat teams like the Avalanche, like the Golden Knights, like Tampa, they can do anything. And I really don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but this spring has the potential to be so much fun. The idea of this team leaving the first round for the first time since well before 2015, if I'm remembering correctly. I mean, I don't really count, that the bubble as going into the second round, because your first round against Winnipeg was the entry, the qualifiers, and you ended up losing to Dallas in the first round. So we're talking big stuff here, right? And this win just gives Calgary the confidence they need as the season rolls on. Like, yeah, they might lose a game here and there, but I think that they can look back on such a huge win, even the overtime win against Colorado, this win against Tampa, and say, yeah, we just got our butts kicked by the Senators because it's the second half of a back to back and, the fourth game in 7 days. But you know what we did? We did beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. We took the Avalanche to overtime and we won. And I don't want to say like get wrapped up in that underdog mentality, but you see how it works for the Patriots and how people eat that up and how they ate it up and they're like, yeah, we're the underdogs. Well, you know what? Newsflash. Flames are the real underdogs here, and they are here to just stick it to their opponents and just have one heck of a spring. And as the trade deadline approaches, it's going to be real interesting to see, if they make another move. If they make another move or not. And we're just going to have to keep waiting. We're going to have to keep watching. But that Tyler Toffoli acquisition, I am telling you right now, if any other team had acquired Tyler Toffoli and he had put on the performance that he's doing in Calgary, it would be all over the place. It would be all over NHL social media. You know whose resurgence is all over? Nick Ritchie. Yeah, Nick Ritchie. So there's a narrative about these Western Canadian teams, and it's time that we break it. So, let's fire up our Twitter fingers and be polite and say, where's the love? If I have to start doing it myself, I will. I'll start doing it myself. Don't worry. I'll start posting clips. I'll figure out how to make a GIF. I'll do it, and we'll talk about it. We're going to start a dialogue. But coming up next to wrap up today's show, we will talk about the winners and losers of the week, as always, because it's Friday. And if you like sports betting, well, I've got the sponsor for you. BetOnline AG is the perfect spot for you to place your bets, and betonline.net is the perfect place to look at all the numbers, your props, odds, scores, and news, and figure out where the next fired coach is going to land. March Madness is happening very soon, and we will have that tournament in full swing. Head on over to betonline.net and take a look at all of those props, odds, and everything you need. And if you aren't into sports betting and want something a little less risky, bet on some reality TV or politics, because what could possibly go wrong there? Bet online, where the game starts. My goodness. I had to think about my losers for this week. I did. Because, I think it's very easy to say the owners of MLB teams and whatnot, but no. We're gonna start with our winners. We're gonna start with the winners. Baseball's back. Baseball is back. I was out on a walk, enjoying a gorgeous spring day in my home sweet ballpark shirt that said baseball state of mind, because I had such a good feeling that baseball was coming back. And I was right. I was out on my walk and I was so excited. I was like a kid in a candy store, ready to root for my Red Sox. And I'm very happy for the MLBPA, specifically, for not caving in and giving in to, these negotiations, because I am a chicken and a people pleaser and I would have caved. So that is why I am not, and I'm not a union rep. I am not a leader in any of these things, because I could not. Nope. But it's so exciting to see baseball back, and it was very exciting to see, people all excited on Twitter. Of course, Noah Adler on Twitter. I pretty sure he listens to the show. Big Yankees fan, always chirping me. I don't care how long this rivalry lasts, but I will never be a Yankees fan. Go Red Sox. I'm sorry. I do like Garrett Cole, though. I think Garrett Cole's pretty neat. But yeah, I think it's great that the season wasn't going to have to be sacrificed any more than it already was. So, big round of applause to everybody on the good guys team and my losers. Quite honestly, I was going to say Deshaun Watson, but I can't even talk about that without feeling sick to my stomach. So, we're going to talk people acting as if Flame fans are throwing a parade right now. Mainly Oilers fans, because God forbid you be excited that your team that it historically sucks, no offense, is playing well and at a legitimate level. I think Edmonton would have already had a parade. I think they would have. If they were in the Flame spot, I think they would have thrown a parade. But, Flames fans have every reason to be happy right now. They have every reason to be positive and excited and just optimistic about this season and the future. Jacob Markstrom choosing to to come to Calgary over the Oilers will never get old. And I think it's acceptable for fans to be excited. This is a very exciting time for fans, and they're this team has proved that they're legitimate. It's not like they're the Arizona Coyotes who are currently going on a tear right now. I think that it's very reasonable and rational to be excited and to be planning playoff stuff. I'm not saying don't plan a parade, don't do that. But I'm simply saying have fun. Put some money aside for those playoff tickets. Put some money aside. You never know. Maybe we'll have a Locked On Flames meetup. I don't know. But as always, it's okay to let people enjoy things, especially if it's something that they're passionate about, like their hockey team. Who cares? They're not hurting anyone. Unless you're verbally accosting people on the internet. Please don't do that. But, go Flames. It's so much fun covering this team right now. I swear to God, I've never had so much fun covering a team besides the 2019 Bruins, and I compare those two teams all the time. I just hope this one ends differently. As always, thank you so much for tuning into Locked On Flames, and we will be back on Monday. And enjoy the game tomorrow if you're going to it. Be safe. Have a beer for me, have a pretzel for me, send me pictures of warm-ups or something, and I will catch y'all on Monday. Make sure that you are subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcast. Bye-bye.